So good morning, student. In this video, I will be talking about intermolecular forces. Intermolecular forces. So this topic is from gas law, intermolecular forces. These are the forces of attraction or repulsion that exist between molecules in a compound. So attractive intermolecular forces. These are also called van der Waals forces. And keep in mind that these are weak forces. So van der Waals forces are forces which are attractive in nature and they are weak force. This needs to be kept in mind. So let me discuss different types of intermolecular forces. The first is London dispersion force. Or simply called dispersion force. So let me explain you London dispersion force in this video so that you will understand what is London dispersion force. It is the weakest intermolecular force. It is a temporary attractive force. Let me explain you with an example of helium. Suppose if you have helium is a system with two neutron in the nucleus and surrounded by 2 electrons. So let me draw that helium, 2 neutron, 2 proton and 2 electron. Suppose there are 86,400 seconds in a day. So for any second or for a fleeting second, if both the electrons are on the one side, then it will create a dipole-like situation. With that side have partial negative charge as compared to the other side which has partial positive. So it creates an instantaneous dipole. Now, the nearby atom, suppose another atom is there, 2 neutron, 2 proton. So what this electron will do, this will repel the electron from this side to this side. So it will have partial negative charge and this will have partial positive charge. And there will be an attractive force here. And this dipole, which is created due to the presence of this dipole, instantaneous, it is called induced instantaneous dipole. So one dipole that was created due to unequal distribution of electron on both the sides. So it is instantaneous dipole, which induces a formation of a dipole in another nearby atom, which is called induced instantaneous dipole. So London dispersion force, or simply dispersion force, is the interaction between instantaneous dipole and induced instantaneous dipole. So instantaneous dipole and induced instantaneous dipole is also called London London force or dispersion force. London, not because it's the name of the place, it was studied by Fritz London, a chemist. So that's why it's also called London force. Now, due to this force only, non-polar substances can be forced to get converted from gaseous state to liquid. So due to this force, helium can be liquefied. Due to this force, London dispersion can be liquefied. Now coming to on what factor London force increase. So number of electrons. If number of electrons increases, it will increase the dispersion force. Dispersion force will increase. So if London number of electrons increases in a substance, then dispersion force will increase. If molecular size increases, then dispersion force will also increase. And if molecular weight increases, then also this dispersion force will increase. So these are the things which will impact or affect the dispersion forces. Like when there is an increase in the number of electrons, molecular size increases, molecular weight increases, this will result in increase in London force. I hope you understood, student. Now coming to dipole-dipole forces. Dipole-dipole forces. Dipole-dipole forces. As the name suggests, dipole. A system of two equal and opposite charges separated by a small distance. So it is a dipole. The symbol of dipole is given by the arrow pointing towards the partial negative, and near the negative positive thing, the line is cut. So HCl is a dipole, HF is a dipole, water is also a dipole. Okay. So these are all polar molecules. And these are dipole-dipole forces are actually stronger forces. They are actually stronger forces than London dispersion force. So keep in mind that these are actually stronger force as compared to London dispersion forces. And they exist between polar molecules. So if you want to see with a diagram, so you can just see through this diagram. You can understand with these diagrams. Because this is plus, this is negative, this is plus, this is negative, this is plus, this is negative, plus, this is negative, this is plus, this is negative. So this is nothing but dipole-dipole interaction with, I am showing the dipole with positive and negative side. Dipole-dipole interaction, which is stronger than dispersion. Now keep in mind that dipole-dipole interaction is weaker than ion-dipole interaction. So this you have to keep in mind. As the size of molecule increases, dipole-dipole interaction also increases. Dipole-dipole force also increases. As the molecular weight increases, dipole-dipole force also increases. And as the polarity of the molecule increases, the dipole-dipole force also increases. So keep this in mind, student. This will be really, really helpful. Now moving to third type, that is dipole-induced dipole forces. So dipole-induced dipole forces. So here what you have to keep in mind that one will be a dipole and another will be a non-polar molecule which will be induced by the presence of this dipole. So presence of a polar molecule plus a non-polar molecule is mandatory. Non-polar molecule is mandatory. Suppose if you have a polar molecule HCl and non-polar molecule like benzene is there. So due to presence of a polar molecule, it induces polarity in the non-polar molecule. So what happens in a non-polar molecule, the polar molecule just disturbs the arrangement of electrons. So this type of interaction is called dipole-induced dipole interaction. This type of interaction is called dipole-induced dipole interaction. Now, another type of interaction which is very important is hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen bonding. Another type of interaction which is very important is hydrogen bonding. And only few molecules participate, and those few molecules must have in their structure phone: fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen. Keep in mind that these three are the most electronegative element of the periodic table, with an electronegativity value in Pauling scale is R 4, 3.5, and 3 respectively. So keep in mind that hydrogen bonding mostly happens when the molecule contains either fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, rarely chlorine, rarely. So you will rarely encounter hydrogen bonding when molecule do have chlorine in it because of the size factor. So there are two conditions for hydrogen bonding. The first condition being that presence of electronegative atom, presence of electronegative atom. And second condition is small size of atom, small size of atom. So these are the two conditions for for hydrogen bonding. These are the two conditions for hydrogen bonding. So if the molecule containing atom has more electronegative, like the fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, which are the most electronegative element, and size of the atom must be small. So these are the two conditions. So remember the trick phone forms hydrogen bonding. So phone HF will have hydrogen bonding, H2O will have hydrogen bonding, NH3 ammonia will have hydrogen bonding, or any such atom in any other molecule. Now these hydrogen bondings are of two types. One is called the intermolecular hydrogen bonding, and another is called the intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So let me show you types of hydrogen bonding. Types of hydrogen bonding. Types of hydrogen bonding. So there are two types of hydrogen bonding. One is called the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Another is called the intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Now keep in mind that due to intermolecular hydrogen bonding, boiling point increases, melting point increases, viscosity increases, surface tension increases, solubility increases. On the other hand, this property decreases due to intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Now let me give you an example of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, like HF. So this is the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. The hydrogen bond represented by dotted lines. So generally we put dotted lines to represent hydrogen bonding. So this. Now, if you want to see intramolecular, intramolecular within the molecule, like we see orthonitrophenol. It's orthonitrophenol. You can see this is partial positive because it's just attached to electronegative oxygen, and here is a partial negative. So these two interacts with intramolecular. So what happened due to intramolecular hydrogen bonding? The molecule undergo cyclization, and that is called chelation. So what happens? It becomes isolated. It becomes a single entity. So similarly, you can think that orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol can be separated by steam distillation, with ortho being steam distilled paranol, because ortho has intramolecular hydrogen bonding, so its boiling point is low. So when you heat it, It will form the vapor early and it can be condensed by Levy condenser. So you can separate orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol by steam distillation. Separated by steam distillation. So this was a concept regarding intermolecular forces, student. I hope you liked it and you understood the concept properly. And keep in mind that hydrogen bonding plays a very important role. Biomolecules like carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, you'll find some hydrogen bonding like this. And you can say hydrogen bonding plays a very important role in our life also, because you know that we are carbon based. So we have, like, our body has a lot of proteins in it, our genetic material, nucleic acids. So these have hydrogen bonding in it, which is stabilized. Like you will be leading in a nucleic acid, that adenine forms 2 hydrogen bond with thymine, and guanine forms triple hydrogen bond with 3 hydrogen bond with cytosine. So this is Watson-Crick base pairing law. Watson-Crick base pairing rule. So you understood the importance of hydrogen bonding. So thanks for watching, student. This is Sandeep sir signing off. Do like and subscribe my channel. More videos, such videos you will be getting. Thanks for watching. Bye.